Welcome to Abundant Excursions. We understand that travel is more than just a destination, it's a once in a lifetime experience. We offer the perfect blend of luxury and adventure to create the ideal holiday getaway. From romantic beach escapes to exotic island retreats, we will work with you to find the trip that speaks to your heart. We specialize in romance and group travels. Planning a honeymoon, an individual or a group intimate celebration? We got you. What are you waiting for? Send us a message. Abundant Excursions, your luxurious access to the world.
Okay. Hello and welcome. My name is Angela, the owner of Abundant Excursions Inc. travel agency, where I help groups and romance travelers, lovers create their special vacations and offer them luxurious access around the world. We thank you so much for joining us for our second Lunch and Learn series, where each month we will learn about a new destination, things to do, what's the best place to travel to that destination, etc. Today, we're going to learn all about this destination is a hotspot, especially for the foodies in the group. But before we start, I wanted to share with some housekeeping notes. And just so to know that if you have any questions, please know that we will hold those questions until the end of the presentation. But throughout the presentation, if you do have any questions, please feel free to share them in the Q&A. Write them down in the Q&A if you're on Zoom, or in the comments if you are on Facebook. And just also want to thank those who have submitted questions in advance, okay? So now, let's get started. If you were at the presentation last month when we talked about not Greece, we talked about Italy, then you recall, if you remember, Rose Schwartz. So Rose will be here with us again. And again, Rose is one of the business development managers at Europe Express. She is a first generation American born in Chicago to German and Austrian immigrants, and a 28-year veteran of the travel industry, with the bulk of her experience in foreign independent travel. Her passion for travel has afforded her the opportunity to visit as many locations worldwide and most all of the countries in Western Europe more than once or twice. So we are happy to have you join us again. Thank you so much, Rose, for joining us.
Well, thank you, Angela. I'm so happy to be here again. I'm going to start sharing my screen as well so that we can start the presentation. Oh, I'm always hitting the wrong buttons. I told you that before. So, all right, you should all be seeing my screen right now. And I want to welcome all of you who are here today and all of who are going to watch this at a later time with a big yasas. And what does that word mean? Well, it is Greek for hello and goodbye. So yasas to all of you. I am Rose, and I'll be your guide as we discover independent European travel with Europe Express and uncover some of the Greek islands today. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to highlight European travel through Europe Express, customized European travel, and we'll virtually travel to Greece on an itinerary that includes Athens, Crete, Corfu, Mykonos, and Santorini. And as we conclude, Angela and I will give you some tips to know before you go, and we'll provide you with Angela's contact information just in case you don't have it. So let's really get down and get started here. So a little bit about Europe Express. Europe Express is a tour operator that is based in the United States. We work exclusively with travel advisors, just like Angela, to help them to design extraordinary independent European vacations for their clients, so for you. And we focus specifically in customization, indulgence, discovery, and transformative travel experiences. And what do I mean by all of that, right? Those are just words right now. But as far as customization, you really deserve a European adventure as unique as you are. With indulgent travel, it's all about that private over the shared sightseeing, the pre-booked private transfers, hotel room upgrades to really give you the most luxurious stays imaginable. And you deserve to see the world in comfort and style, especially in this year and a few months that we haven't been able to travel to Europe. Discovery is one of the best ways for you to immerse yourself really in the history and culture of a cuisine of a destination, and to seek that authentic experience away from the crowds. And this does mean traveling beyond the cities and exploring the hidden wonders of those less frequented villages and landscapes. And through transformation or transformative travel, it's all about expanding our horizons, adopting new perspectives, focusing on our well-being, and really embracing the extraordinary. We are not your typical motor coach tour company where hotels, sites, and destinations are chosen for you. With Europe Express, you're on your own schedule. You decide how, where, and when you want to travel. So Europe Express is truly a one-stop shop for independent European vacations. We have contracts with all the major carriers into and out of Europe. We offer 3, 4, 5-star hotels, castles, villas, paradors, posadas, B&Bs, and apartments. For sightseeing, we have over 600 sightseeing options, from that basic hop-on, hop-off tour to fast-track entrances, special interest tours such as beer, wine, history, culinary, culture. These can all be arranged through us. We do offer the shared private and executive transfers to make sure you get safely from the airport to the hotel to the train station to cruise port, or wherever it is you want to go. And if you're looking to chart your own course through a destination and get behind the wheel of a car, we're going to help your travel advisor to arrange a car rental for you. And then, of course, when you choose to travel to vacation in Europe, odds are that you will travel by rail at some point during your stay. It is easy, quick, affordable, and scenic, not to mention eco-friendly and multi-generational. Now, while there are no rail options for us in Greece, I did want to mention that for you today. I'm going to ask that you discuss destinations, your interest in the type of air travel and accommodations that fit your budget with Angela. And then Angela will then in turn work with our staff to secure your quote and get you the very best possible package pricing and book your European adventure for you. So really, you're probably asking, what are the benefits to me? Well, the benefits to you is that Europe Express is an established tour operator with over 30 years of experience in the marketplace. And since our beginning in 1990, we have worked exclusively with travel advisors to assist them in creating completely customizable European adventures for individual travelers, couples traveling together, or groups of 10 or more family and friends. The U.S. team that we have here is comprised of knowledgeable and passionate and well-traveled reservation specialists who have either lived, worked, studied, or traveled extensively throughout Europe. So they not only know the destinations, but they know our products inside and out and can really help to service the travel advisor community. And then our office in Barcelona is our operations office that assists in contracting our hand-selected products, using their relationships to negotiate contracts directly with thousands of hotels locally, activities, and other services. And they assist us in servicing our 24/7 emergency hotline. So when you are traveling in Europe, you have someone to reach out to that can assist if needed. So let's dive in. Greece is often called the cradle of Western civilization, with Athens as its capital. It is a hub for travelers of all kinds, from honeymooners to bookworms, sun worshipers to history buffs. And the islands just sparkle with culture, friendly locals, picturesque scenes from every angle. So I want you to prepare your sails and find your flip-flops today as we ride the waves through the Aegean Sea to inviting whitewashed shores. And while we won't be able to get to all 6,000 of the Greek islands, we will take you to Athens and 4 islands that you can experience through Europe Express. We'll go over each island's personality, what to see and what to do, and where to stay. So while flight routes continue to change based on demand, JFK does send 2 daily nonstops to Athens through Delta and American Airlines. From Chicago and Philadelphia, you also have nonstops to Athens via American Airlines. For getting to the islands in between, ferries are the most popular way of transportation, but flights are also available between some of the islands. Ferries do have slow speed options and high speed hydrofoil option routes to make the most of your time. And popular routes, some have dining options along with assigned seating and outdoor views of the turquoise waters. Now, the Piraeus port in Athens is the largest and most widely used, being just 25 minutes by taxi from Athens. And this will be the port that Angela will be booking for you if you are taking one of those ferry routes. If by air, so if air is preferred, Aegean Air is the most common airline we use between the islands, and this is it's relatively much shorter of a distance or duration than the ferry duration. We do recommend that these flights be booked in advance since they can fill up very quickly during the summer months. So while inter-European flights can connect you to several of the islands, you will most likely need to land in Athens before venturing to the other islands. And if arriving straight from the US, then we encourage you to stay in Athens for a night or two to recover from jet lag, maybe get a glimpse of what Athens has to offer. And Athens is the capital of Greece and the heart of ancient Greece, and is still dominated by 5th century BC landmarks. So on top of the 4 hills that overlook Athens, you can wander the prehistoric ruins of the Acropolis or the High City. And after surviving 25 centuries of wars and natural disasters, this archaeological wonder became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. From Athens, we're going to venture out to Delphi. So our Delphi excursion with lunch is approximately a 10-hour tour operating daily April through October. Visitors will depart Athens and arrive after a drive through the fertile plains and arrive into Delphi. This is the center of the ancient world, known as the omphalos, or navel of the earth, and the prestige extended far beyond the boundaries of the Hellenic world. So Delphi was an ancient religious sanctuary dedicated to the Greek god Apollo. And developed in the 8th century BC, the sanctuary was home to the Oracle of Delphi and the priestess called Pythia, who was famed throughout the ancient world for her divination, like her predictions of the future. And she was consulted before all major undertakings. So this group tour will visit the treasury of the Athenians, the temple of Apollo, and the museum there. And there's lunch provided in the modern village of Delphi before returning to Athens. Now, for an evening tour of Athens, we do recommend the Athens by Night excursion. The evening starts with a short panoramic drive through the city center, and at the slope of the sacred hill, you'll be able to admire and photograph the illuminated Acropolis. After just a little stroll through the narrow streets of what's called the Plaka, or the Old City, you're going to have dinner in a typical Greek tavern, which will be followed by a floor show with live music and Greek folk dances. Now we have 2 hotels that we're going to recommend here. I'll try to say them slowly. We don't have pictures of all of them, so I do apologize for that. But we have the Polis Grand Hotel. It is a 4-star accommodation in the center of Athens with a view to the Acropolis. It's a 10-minute walk from the National Archaeological Museum and only about 1.2 miles from the Acropolis. The hotel does offer 100 ample and modern rooms in Greek hospitality at its best. There's free Wi-Fi, breakfast buffet, parking is complimentary, although you might not need a car there. It is air conditioned and it is accessible. And then we have the Electra Palace. It is a beautiful 5-star luxury property with 150 guest rooms. It's located in the old town of Athens as well, just a 15-minute stroll from the Acropolis and 10 minutes walk from the Parthenon. There's free Wi-Fi, breakfast. It is accessible, which is important for some people. Indoor and outdoor pool, fitness center with spa, hot tub, and sauna. The property is air conditioned. There is a lobby bar and a rooftop restaurant, and the rooftop restaurant is actually pictured here in this slide. So we talked a little bit about ferries versus flights. I want to give you that information as we talk about the different islands. So the flight duration from Crete to Athens is from Athens to Crete is about 1 hour in duration. The ferry duration from Athens is anywhere between 8.5 and 9 hours. So in the interest of time, you'll probably want to fly from Athens to Crete. Crete is the largest island of Greece. It has natural wonders, castle ruins, and gastronomic experiences that are sure to delight. So for those of you who are foodies, this is one of the places to definitely stop. There are plenty of sights to see in Crete, and we recommend renting either a car or motorbike to be able to see them all. So the old Venetian harbor, or what's called the Haina town, was built between 1320 and 1356 by Venetians who ruled Crete. Today, you as visitors will find a vibrant town full of inviting cafes, waterfront hotels, and an enchanting lighthouse that overlooks the harbor. We're going to tell you to spend some time here and stroll or enjoy a glass or a bottle of the Cretan wines. And for those who are looking to get some sunbathing time in, there's a long list of places to enjoy here for a little R&R. But for starters, there is a Mediterranean gem called Vi Beach. It has transparent waters, sandy shores, and it attracts locals and tourists alike. And then for a unique visit, a little something different, check out Lake Kornas. This is Crete's only freshwater lake in the hills near Kornas, surrounded by these great white mountains. Or let's get out into the countryside. So enjoy a guided 16-kilometer hike through the longest and most impressive of Europe's limestone gorges, stretching from the White Mountains down to the Libyan Sea on the Samaria Gorge at its best tour. Tour leaves early in the morning and passes through several beautiful villages, reaching the plateau of Omolos. The hike will last approximately 6 hours and take us along breathtaking and constantly changing landscapes to the Agia Rumeli, a laid-back South Coast village accessible only by boat. And at the base of this gorge, visitors like you can enjoy a refreshing swim and lunch at one of the local taverns, followed by a sail to a nearby port. We're going to be transferred back to Haina in the evening. Now, it's important to note, this tour is approximately 15 hours in duration, and the walk is long and strenuous. So this tour is really suitable for guests that are fit and have some experience in walking long distances. But if you're not one of those people, I do recommend the island tour and Spinalonga barbecue. This is a once-in-a-lifetime 7-hour experience and really voted one of the best and very best trips on Crete. It brings visitors to the sparkling sea of the Mirabello Bay in East Crete. There is a luxury air-conditioned coach that will deliver you to the village of Elunda. This is certainly one of the most beautiful locations on the island. Guests then also visit the Spinalonga and continue on their cruise along the bay. You're going to relax and enjoy the calm, crystal clear sea at Kolakithia. And here, the crew is going to prepare for you a delicious barbecue while you swim and relax under the Cretan sun. You can enjoy a fresh glass of ouzo or maybe a cold beer or soft drink from the bar. And on our return, we take time for a stop in the picturesque town of St. Nicholas, where visitors can stroll around the bottomless lake and the pretty harbor and cosmopolitan shops and tree-lined avenues. Or you can just relax again and have some coffee in any of the lakeside cafes while you just sit back and watch the world go by. Now, our hotel recommendations for Crete, there are 2 as well. So we have the first one is the Albatross Spa and Resort. It's a 4-star hotel located within a 2-minute walk to the beach of the Sea of Crete and within 1,000 feet to the nearest bus stop, connecting you to all major Cretan destinations. So this is a perfect location with great transportation options. The Albatross is a family-owned property, has sleek rooms with tile floors. There's free Wi-Fi, breakfast, parking, outdoor pool, and the hotel is air-conditioned and accessible. There's also the Galaxy Hotel. It is a 5-star premium hotel for business and leisure clients. It is situated in the north coast of Crete. Sorry about that. Free Wi-Fi, breakfast, parking, outdoor pool. It is air conditioned and accessible. There are executive doubles and poolside dining, which are pictured here on this slide. So next up is Corfu, and like I said, we're going to talk about the duration of ferry versus air. The flight duration from Athens, again, is approximately 1 hour. The ferry duration from Athens, well, there is no ferry connecting Athens and Corfu. Corfu is connected by ferry with many different ports, though. So this would require you to travel to another port city to board a ferry to Corfu. So, for example, it's possible to travel on land by either car or train from Athens to Patras. And then you would take a ferry anywhere between 2 to 4 hours to Corfu, and then another, to Patras, and then another, that was the transportation by land. 2 to 4 hours by land to Patras, and then Patras to Corfu by ferry for 7 hours. Sorry, lots of numbers here. So Corfu is known widely as the Emerald Isle, just simply because of its array of greenery from the olive, pine, and cypress trees that are on this island. Corfu is also home to archaeological sites and wonders that can be visited all over the island. So the old town of Corfu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that encompasses Renaissance, Baroque, and classical architecture that really illuminate the town. And in fact, Corfu became a melting pot for art with its first Greek university of orchestra and fine arts school. And on the east side of Corfu, visitors might want to try to see the old fortress, which was also built by the Venetians in the 15th century. And until 1819, this fortress could only be accessed by a movable wooden bridge that was attached to the mainland of Corfu. Now, outside of Corfu's historical town, we do encourage you to go olive oil tasting in the hills of the island. There are essentially 4 million olive trees that cover the island, and the Otki estate allows for you to not only taste their olive oil, but pick some olives for yourself. And of course, for wine lovers, there's also plenty of wine choices at the estate there as well. So for a day tour, departing the port with private vehicle and guide, there's a 7-hour Grand Island tour with lunch. And here you visit the Achillean Palace, built by Queen Sissi of Austria at the end of the 19th century. The Empress's obsession with Greek mythology influenced the whole architecture and decoration of this palace. In the Paleokastrisa, you can visit a 13th century Byzantine monastery, the Byzantine Museum, and the old olive press that they have there, and the Bella Vista, the famous lookout where you can get a view of the island of Corfu, the mainland of Greece, and also Albania. And finally, Corfu town, where you can take a short guided tour around the center of the town to see the old fortress, the new fortress, the famous Liston Street, the Royal Palace, and the St. Spiridon Church, which is named after the patron saint of the island. The last stop will be the Vlachera Monastery and the Pontokonisi, or Mouse Island, which is pictured here on this slide. This is actually the symbol of Corfu. So moving on to one hotel recommendation that we have here. And remember, we have hundreds and hundreds of types of hotels. Angela can help you to sort all that out. But this is the Corfu Palace. It is a 5-star accommodation near the port of Corfu, facing Garista Bay. This casino hotel is approximately 2 miles from the ferry terminal at Corfu Harbor and a 14-minute walk from the old fortress. It has bright and traditional rooms, 4 bars and restaurants, free Wi-Fi, breakfast, parking, outdoor saltwater pool, indoor pool and spa. It is air conditioned and it is accessible. So on to Mykonos. The flight duration from Athens, a mere 45 minutes. Ferry duration from Athens, just about 5 hours. This is a popular island for both young and old. Mykonos is just an island jewel in the heart of the Cyclades, or Cyclades. It is known for its vibrant nightlife, whitewashed buildings, and Mykonos is a great stop for a taste of Greek culture and adventure. And by this, I mean, on Mykonos, a Jeep safari tour is a great bet for an unforgettable time. You can discover the old Venetian fortress here, the Paleo Castro in the northern part of the island, where on the east side, you can check out a deserted mine, and maybe on the way back to Mykonos town, just stop by a secluded beach for a short swim stop. Now, our recommended tour from Mykonos is Delos. It is an island that sits 45 minutes from Mykonos Old Town Pier. Delos was inhabited between 2500 and 69 BC, making it the ancient center of the Cyclades and home to the historical figures such as Dionysus, Cleopatra, and Artemis. This is an island that is a time capsule. It has beautiful mosaics and statues, so it's definitely worth a visit. Or how about a 2-hour sunset cruise tour of Mykonos, where you'll have an unforgettable cruise to on Ornos Bay. We follow the sun as it sets with its majestic colors over the sea. And on this sunset tour, you have choice of sparkling wine, regular wine, beer, soft drinks, gin and tonic, or ouzo. There's a 2-drink maximum, and light snacks are included. Our hotel recommendations here, we have 2 of them. One is the Petinos Hotel. It's a chic whitewashed 4-star hotel overlooking the Aegean Sea. It has free Wi-Fi, breakfast, airport shuttle, and parking. It's air conditioned. There's a bar, a TV lounge, an informal restaurant with a seafront terrace, plus access to spa, pool, gym at a sister property. The superior double balcony is pictured here on this slide. And then we have the Kamari Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel located next to Saro Beach. It's a seasonal seasonal hotel 4 kilometers from the Aegean Maritime Museum and the Mykonos windmills. And it's also near to the Mykonos National Airport, just the airport of the island. It has bright upscale rooms with marble bathrooms, free Wi-Fi, breakfast, airport shuttle, and parking. It is air conditioned, outdoor pool with poolside bar, kids pool and playground, and it has beach access. Moving to our last island, and probably one of the most popular, is Santorini. So Athens to Santorini by ferry is about 7 hours, whereas Athens to Santorini flight is about an hour. This is one of the most iconic islands of the Aegean Sea, and Santorini is well known for its cliffside whitewashed buildings and dreamy sunsets. Actually made up of 5 different islands, Santorini sits upon the world's only known active volcano with its crater in the sea. It last erupted 3,600 years ago. Santorini's Ia, which is one of its towns, is well known among tourists. And this is where you'll need to catch a picture of yourself with these iconic buildings that you see here as the backdrop. Everyone needs the picture with them with the blue dome background. And the capital of Santorini, which is Fira. And this is just what you imagine when you think of Santorini sunsets. We suggest that you spend time strolling the steps and indulging in the gastronomical experiences and inviting cafes that are really sure to satisfy your taste buds. Now, Santorini is packed with activities to really delight visitors to their island, including delectable wines, red sanded beaches, and waters made for sailing. So there are 2 different sightseeing options that we recommend here. Our Caldera and Ia boat tour takes travelers to visit the active craters of the volcano to the top of the Neikama and the Paleokama, where the thermal waters will offer just warm water bathing, even though the waters surrounding it are actually cold. The next destination on this tour is the Tirasia. It's a village lost in time before the invasion of tourism. And lastly, Ia. The beauty of Ia is just unsurpassed. Small white houses tier the hillside, interspersed by splashes of deep fuchsia, cobalt, oyster pink, and earthy red. Ia is one of the most photographed places in Greece, as I said before. And on our private half-day Ia and Fira winery tour, you will have the opportunity to visit Ia and proceed to a local winery where you'll have the opportunity to taste a variety of wines. Included are the wine tastings. The scenic location of the winery and the position of the wine tasting room to the west really provides for a wonderful scenic view of their vineyard. After the winery tour, we continue to Fira, where we have free time to walk and browse through the small shops and cafes. So in Santorini, we do have two options for hotel for you. The first is the El Greco Resort Hotel. It's a 4-star property and the largest on Santorini. It is located just minutes away from Santorini's vibrant capital of Fira. So you'll be in the thick of it. 5 kilometers from the airport and 7 kilometers from the Monolitos beach. It has free Wi-Fi, parking, and breakfast. They have an adult-only spa, 5 outdoor pools, 1 indoor pool. It is air conditioned and accessible. And then the Santorini Palace is a 4-star property and really holds the title of the very first resort on Santorini Island. It's near to the cliff of the Caldera. There is free Wi-Fi, parking and breakfast, outdoor pool, spa with Turkish bath, hot tub and sauna, massage treatments for a fee. It is air conditioned and accessible, and their little bar is pictured here in this slide. So just a couple of things to know before you go. The first is combining regions. So while it's great to integrate various cities and regions into a customized independent European itinerary, just check to make sure you allow ample time to enjoy and relax and immerse yourself. Don't overdo it. Everyone always asks when to go. Well, most tour operate year-round. So what Angela will do is she'll check with us for any blackout dates and make sure that you're traveling when you can actually take advantage of those tours that you want to add to your itinerary. But this does bring me to point 3, which I think is probably one of the most important: booking early. So cities and sites that are highlighted or that we highlighted here in this presentation are top cultural, historical, and culinary getaways for travelers, not only from the US and North America, but from around the world. So it's really understandable that flights, hotels, those sightseeing options, they get full in advance. May through September is the peak season, so if you plan your trip then, we do recommend that you book at least 6 months in advance for the best availability and options. Now, because of pent-up demand due to restrictions on international travel in 2020 and just a little bit here in 2021, we are definitely anticipating a flood of requests once European countries announce that their borders are opening again. And Angela and I do have some great information. I don't know if you've all heard it already on the news, but Greece is opening to vaccinated travelers. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our Q&A. But I do want you to note that if you're traveling in 2022, it is really set to be a banner year in Europe. There are so many festivals that are happening. There are 2 that happen every 10 years that are falling into 2022, which is the Floriade in Amsterdam and the Passion Play in Oberammergau. And people who do visit these festivals do not just stay in those small little locations. They do extend their vacations out. These 2 run concurrently from April through October. So they run a long time. And in addition to all of the other festivals, I know I mentioned them before in our first session, but just to name a few of them: Oktoberfest in Munich, the Christmas markets in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, the UK, in Croatia, Bastille Day in France, Edinburgh's military tattoo, the running of the bulls in Pamplona. I could go on. There are so many world events that are happening, these festivals in Europe. So just if you're thinking about traveling to Europe in 2021 or 2022, I'm going to ask that you start working with Angela today. So while there are so many corners of Greece to explore, this really winds down our suggested itinerary. But remember that your customized European adventure is really only limited by your imagination and your budget. So again, I'm just going to ask that you call Angela, get a conversation started, and get her to help you to work on that next independent European vacation. And with that, I just want to thank you for having me here again, Angela. It's always fun. I do want to just remind your audience to just contact you, Angela, when they're ready. So I'll just put this slide up just really quickly. And if we have any questions, I think I'll just leave this up here and I can still show myself. And if Angela, you want to come back too, let's see if we can get ourselves back here.
I am back.
Can I?
You can't see you?
I don't know. I don't think I can do it now. What? Maybe I just have to stop sharing. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Let me stop. Again, this technology. Okay, I'm back.
That's
Right.
okay. Well, great. Thank you so much, bro. Oh my gosh. I was writing down on things for sure of what I want to do myself.
Right.
So, especially the olive oil tasting.
Olive
olive
oil
oil.
and wines and the feta cheeses. Come on, let's go.
Yes, all of it, definitely. So I have, I'm looking at Melanie in Facebook. She said she's ready. So she's ready to go. Yeah.
If she needs a traveling companion.
Right.
Right.
Definitely so. So yeah, before we go into if there are any questions that were in the Q&A or in the chat, let's go over some questions that were given to me in advance. So here's the first one. What island would you consider to be the best for a honeymoon?
Okay, so everything that you're going to read is going to say that Crete is one of the main honeymoon destinations. And it's because there's a little bit of everything there. There's a little bit of everything on that island, right, to experience. But there are really 4 that we can recommend. So along with Crete, which I just mentioned, you have Mykonos. And Mykonos for the white sandy beaches. Come on. Who doesn't want to spend time on a beach on a honeymoon, right? Then there is Santorini, just simply for, again, those properties that we talked about and other fantastic properties that are on the island, plus the romantic sunsets. I mean, you can't get any better than that, right? But there's one island that we didn't talk about, which is Naxos. And Naxos has not only the white beaches and the temples, but they also have the green spaces. So again, another island that's just going to have a bunch of different activities and sites for the honeymooners to see.
Okay, good to know. All right. So now we talk about the honeymooners, but now we have those people who want to party. So they want to know what's the best island to party and meet people from all around the world.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a lot of them are the same, right? You have Santorini. Santorini has a very club-centric Fira. Fira is the capital city of Santorini. It's very club-centric. So people go there to experience the rowdy party time. The place to be really seen, so by Europeans and Americans, is on Mykonos. So Mykonos has, again, a lot of clubs, beach restaurants, that kind of thing, where they have these beach parties. There are 2 different places. I wrote them down. Scorpios and Namos. There are these beach kind of restaurants that just throw these amazing parties. And it's not unusual to see famous people during the high season there, or models or whatever. So they can hobnob with not only other cultures and people, but maybe some famous people too.
Okay, good to know.
And then I have one more. There again, an island that we didn't talk about was Ios. So this is also just a short ferry ride from either Santorini or Mykonos, and it's just filled with party-loving people. So,
spell that for me. I couldn't hear what you said.
It's Ios, I-O-S.
I-O-S. Okay. Okay. So, can you tell me about the Greece people? people. Apparently, it's been told that the Greeks are rude.
Okay, so I have a lot of Greek friends. I wouldn't go all out and say that they're rude, but I would say that if they have something to say, they're gonna say it.
Right.
It may not come out as sounding polite to you and me, people who are not Greek by heritage. But I don't think that's the case at all. I really don't think that's the case at all. So I would always just recommend, no matter where you go, again, I've traveled a lot of different places, but I think one of the best things to do is to learn some of the words, right? Mm-hmm. Learn the please, learn the thank you, learn the hello, learn the goodbye. I said in the beginning of the presentation, the word for hello and goodbye, kind of like the Hawaiian, right? It's yasas. Easy to say, yasas.
Yasa.
Hello and goodbye. I mean, if you could just say those things, it goes a long way to having people treat you in a different manner.
Right. Very true. Very true. And I think you kind of mentioned the peak season would be May through September, but as far as the time to go in Greece, like when it would be not too warm or not too cold, so temperature-wise.
Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to say again, I am totally excited to hear that Greece is opening for vaccinated travelers. I think we're all smiling, grinning ear to ear about this. They are not the only country. I just want to make a quick plug for Iceland and Croatia, who are also right behind Greece in opening their doors. This is exciting. It's just exciting news, right? Overall. As far as when to travel, so I did say May to September, but really mid-April to mid-June is a good time because then you're not there during the complete high season. Or maybe like September to mid-October because it's still warm, but it's not hot. In those middle months from July through August, all of the Europeans are traveling. They usually are on their holidays at this time. So you not only have, the North Americans, you have all the Europeans, you have all the Australians, you have all the, they're all converging at the same time. Now, the temperature, as long as you're not traveling in July and August, and you're okay, you can, if you're okay with spikes of heat up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, right? But it's all about, the crowds as well. You don't necessarily want to be there when all the crowds are there. You don't necessarily want to be there when it is 100 degrees and not comfortable to lay out on the beach. So you can go at any time. I mean, seriously, any time from April through mid-October is really perfect. It's just up to you. How much if you do travel in high season, you're going to spend more money too. So you need to take a look at that. If your budget allows for you to go in a summer month where it is going to be a little bit more costly, it is going to be a little bit hotter, and you are going to have more tourists around, then that's great. But I would recommend, and I'm speaking to your audience right now, talk to Angela about it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. So let's see. Okay, here's a question. So I want to take my 11, soon to be 12-year-old. I hear a lot about wine and beer. Are there any good options for a mommy and me trip?
So I'm sure there are. I have not researched it. If the mommy and me definitely loves beaches and just hanging out, experiencing not only that part of Greece, but the true history with the architecture and all of that, we have it. We can absolutely put together a trip like that. In working with Angela, it's not a problem at all. And I want to say here, I'm glad that question came up actually. the more that you know too about the Greek myths and the mythology, it'll help you to really understand those statues and the architecture that you're seeing when you're there. So if you're not into it, like if you can get your child into that, I think they would be even more into going to a place like Greece.
True. Very true. Yeah, very true. Let me see. I need to go to Facebook and see if there was any comments on there. So if there are no questions on Facebook, I imagine that everybody's had their questions answered, which is good. So it means that you've done an excellent job with your presentation.
Thank you.
And there were no questions.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. I think for the next one, I think I'll have definitely more photos. So if anyone's interested in our next destination, I think I'll be able to click through and show you a little bit more as far as the scenery is concerned. So
perfect. Great. And with that, our next session will be on April I'll have to look at the calendar, April the 28th. And we'll be on UK and the surrounding areas. So for those who are interested in that part of the world, be ready. We'll be having another presentation at that time, 12 noon on April the 28th. Okay. Well, thank you again, Rose. Appreciate your time today on telling us all that we can about Greece. Thanks for those who participated or in our webinar today, or in our Zoom webinar, as well as Facebook. We look forward to I look forward to working with you. So if you are interested in securing your travels in Greece in the near future, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. All right. You guys have a great rest of the day and have a good day. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye, you guys.